Hello everyone, Aham Brahmasmi. Most of us grow up seeing Lord Ganesha as a familiar figure, a god with an elephant head, a broken tusk, and a gentle smile. We're told the story Shiva beheads a child, an elephant's head replaces it, and Lord Ganesha becomes the remover of obstacles. But what if this story was never meant to be taken literally? Now, before we begin, I want to clarify something important. This is one symbolic interpretation drawn from yogic and tantric traditions, not a literal or a religious claim. One way to understand Lord Ganesha symbolically is to see him not just as a deity, but as a representation of consciousness itself. Today, I'd like to explore this perspective where Ganesha reflects the awakening mind and the gateway to inner transformation. In the traditional story, Parvati creates a child and places him at the door as a guardian. When Shiva returns and is stopped from entering, he becomes enraged and cuts off the child's head. Parvati is devastated. To restore the balance, Shiva replaces the head with that of an elephant and declares Ganesha the leader of his attendants. From then on, Lord Ganesha is invoked before every new beginning. But symbolically speaking, something much deeper is unfolding here. In yogic philosophy, Parvati is often associated with Shakti, the primal creative energy. Shiva represents pure awareness, not really as external gods, if I may, but principles that exist within every human being, you, I, and everyone else on this mortal earth. One way to understand this story is an internal psychological and energetic process. Shakti is Kundalini, dormant energy resting at the base of the spine. Shiva is consciousness, the observing eye, not, not the eye through which you see, the alphabet I, me. When a person attempts to awaken Kundalini prematurely, without preparation or grounding, it can be overwhelming. The system isn't ready. Kundalini energy rises from the base of one's spine and rushes through towards the mind if not controlled. The body part that connects the spine with the brain is called the medulla oblongata and is precisely the place where Lord Ganesha is deemed to be sitting in the human body. So I, the Shiva, cut the head and Shakti creates havoc. And to put the uncontrollable Shakti back, we need to reinforce the head back on this energy. Now, interestingly, when the medulla oblongata is viewed from the lower part, it resembles an elephant head. Yes, an elephant head. Now, symbolically, the head here represents the protective identity structure, the ego, the mental filters, the psychological boundaries. When these are abruptly removed, energy surges uncontrollably. In the story, Parvati's intense reaction reflects this imbalance. Uncontained Shakti becomes chaos. This mirrors what many spiritual traditions warn about. Awakening energy without stability can destabilize the mind. Now, here comes the most important part. To restore harmony, Shiva places an elephant's head, right? This is not random. The elephant symbolizes intelligence, memory, emotional depth, and spiritual maturity. Symbolically, the message is simple. Raw energy must be governed by wisdom. Awakening without intelligence leads to fragmentation. Awakening with awareness leads to integration. The elephant head represents higher cognition, replacing impulsive identity. Spiritual intelligence takes over, from unconscious reaction. Only then can immense inner energy be held safely. In this sense, Ganesha becomes the stabilized form of awakened consciousness, not uncontrolled power, but power guided by insight. Every aspect of Ganesha reinforces this idea. The large ears symbolize deep listening. The small eyes point inward. The broken tusk represents sacrifice, letting go of your rigid ego. The pot belly shows the ability to digest all experiences without resistance. And the mouse beneath him, remember our little Mushak? That restless mouse symbolizes the wandering mind. Ganesha riding the mouse represents mastery over mental chaos. It just falls into place, all of this. This is not external mythology, it is inner psychology. Ganesha becomes the archetype of balanced awakening. In Kundalini traditions, Ganesha is associated with the Mooladhara chakra, the root center. This is where the energy sleeps. Before Kundalini can rise, this gateway must be cleared. That is why Ganesha is invoked first. He removes inner obstacles. What are these obstacles? Fear, instability, unresolved emotion, identity attachment. Not problems outside us. No, sir. No, ma'am. Not problems outside us, but resistance within. He stands at the threshold between unconscious living and conscious awareness. Now, why does this matter today? Why am I doing this today? Why am I trying to find meaning today? Modern life keeps us trapped in thinking, anxiety, comparison, constant stimulation. Many people seek awakening without grounding. But without stability, insight becomes agitation. The Ganesha archetype reminds us transformation begins at the root, with patience, with emotional regulation, with learning to contain energy rather than chase experiences. Only then can consciousness rise naturally. Perhaps, if you think about it, Ganesha was never meant to be worshipped only in temples. Perhaps he was meant to be recognized within as awareness, as balance, as the intelligence that learns how to hold power gently. If this interpretation resonates with you, sit with it. Observe your own patterns. And remember, every spiritual journey begins not with ascent, but with grounding. And I'll leave you with your thoughts for this, with a thank you note for listening through my interpretation of Lord Ganesha. Aham Brahmasmi.